Hi, and welcome to We Are Middlesex. I'm Logan, and I'm here to guide you on a road trip through North Middlesex and Lucan, right here in Middlesex County. On today's show, Julia meets with Deputy Mayor of North Middlesex, Brian Robb, and Mayor of Lucan, Kathy Burkhardt Jessen. Later on, Pauline learns all about the annual Ailsa Craig Quilt Festival, gets the insider scoop at Fort Rose Maple Company, experiences authentic Thai food at Stuffed Zucchini, learns all about the famous Donnelly Museum, and gets a private tour of the art of Jan Brouwer. So let's go.
Hello and welcome. I'm here today with Deputy Mayor Brian Robb of North Middlesex, and we're in front of the municipal offices and library. Thank you for being here with us today, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could you explain where North Middlesex is located in Middlesex County?
Yeah, we're on the northern tip of Middlesex County. We're about 20 minutes from the northern boundary of London. We're also only about 15 minutes from Lake Huron and Grand Bend and the Pine Reef Provincial Park, so we're very close to a lot of amenities.
And what services do you provide to the residents of North Middlesex?
Well, we have 2 long-term care facilities. We have 2 pharmacies, 2 medical centers in Ailsa Craig and in Park Hill, YMCA. We have a conservation area here at Park Hill, as well as 2 private campgrounds to allow for a very nice lifestyle. We do have 1 high school, 4 elementary schools. We have 2 county libraries, one in Ailsa Craig, one in Park Hill. The one in Park Hill, we have the Service Ontario, so you can get your licensing here as well without going to London. We have a lot of shared services within that with community agencies who come into our enhanced services here at Park Hill Library.
And what would attract new immigrants to North Middlesex?
Well, we have a very relaxed lifestyle. We have a strong roots in farming, a friendly, welcoming community. We're positioned ourselves to attract new residents, a new business here in North Middlesex, but the biggest thing, we have a strong sense of community, volunteerism that exists in this community, and that's what makes this a great place to live.
North Middlesex sounds lovely.
It is, it's a great place to be.
Thank you for having us here today, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much.
We're at the annual Quilt Festival, and we're going to go inside and look at some quilts. This is Cynthia McNair, and you are the Artistic Director of the Quilt Festival?
Yes, I am. I was an immigrant. I came from England in 2013. I was originally a ceramic restorer.
Can you just tell me what a ceramic restorer is?
I used to mend broken china and pottery.
Oh, okay.
So I had a practice in England for about 20 years, and then when we moved to Canada, I was thinking that I would carry on that business, but then I got involved in quilting because I needed to meet people. So I decided that quilts would be more interesting than broken china. So I started making quilts, belonged to a guild.
So you live in a rural community. What drew you to that?
The space. I lived in South London, and London's a busy, busy city, and 18 million people or something live in London, so it was time to get away from that. And I didn't want to move to London here, so it was nice to have the countryside and to move out into the rural areas and just have the space and the freedom.
Now I'm looking at these quilts, so tell me how you got involved and what is the Ailsa Craig Quilt Festival all about?
The Ailsa Craig Community Quilt Festival started in 2010. The first show they ever did was for local quilts. It's a not-for-profit group. We're all volunteers, and we have at least 200 volunteers during the week in the festival.
So what quilts are being featured at the Quilt Festival this year?
We have quilts of Latvia this year. We have 11 quilters from Latvia, which is a lovely number. So they help in the show or they teach workshops.
Does the quilts change every year?
Yes, we feature a different country every year. So we invite countries, guilds from the countries to come to Canada to show their work.
And what countries have you had before?
Well, we've had the Netherlands, Denmark, Israel, Great Britain, and France.
Is there always a story behind it, or I mean, how do the quilters create their designs?
There's usually some inspiration, and the quilters will always have a story with that quilt, and quite often there'll be another little story that's not told at that time, which we find out later.
So we've moved over to this lovely quilt, and we're going to talk to Aina and Vaira. Aina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Es studēju tekstilmākslu Latvijas Mākslas akadēmijā, un pēc beigšanas es esmu profesionāla tekstilmāksliniece. Un pēc studiju beigšanas man uzaicināja Mākslas akadēmijā pasniegt arī tekstilmākslas katedrā.
She studied with the Latvian Arts Academy and with textile design, and upon graduation she was invited to be a professor at the academy.
And how long have you been quilting?
No 1990. gada.
1992.
So tell us about your quilt.
Šis ir viens no maniem pēdējiem kviltiem, un bieži vien ir tā, ka jautā, kā rodās ideja. Un man pēdējā laikā ir arī ļoti interesē izšūšana. Es apvienoju kviltēšanu ar aplikāciju un izšūšanu.
She's from textile design, so she wants to incorporate her textile design, but Aina is a modern designer.
Oh, okay.
She's not traditional, she's a modern designer, and she wanted to do the different media.
And is there a story behind the quilt?
Protams, man patīk moderns dizains, bet lai tas būtu saistīts arī ar kādu saturu, jo katrai lietai ir sava doma. Un šī ideja man radās tāda pilnīgi nejauši, ka es redzēju vaboli, kura tik skaisti zeltaini melna bija, ka es nevarēju viņu kaut kādā veidā neiekļaut savā darbā.
Okay.
She saw an interesting beetle. She loved the colors, and she thought with her thread design she could incorporate the beetle into her modern works.
Oh, thank you so much, Aina, for sharing your story about your beautiful quilt.
Hi, my name is Veta Wozolinja, and I'm representing the traditional quilt. I love it very much, and I was at school at college in applied arts in Riga. Afterwards, I worked with national costumes, and embroidery, sewing was always a part of my life. Quilting is the passion of latest maybe 10 years, so I'm here.
So this quilt behind us is a traditional quilt, and does it have a story behind it?
Yes, actually it does. This is when my eldest son asked and said to me, Mom, I'm going to be married. I thought, oh, I need to make some gift to him. So that's what I did. I had enough time for me to make a quilt, and so this is a handmade quilt for my son's wedding. He's having that on his bed all the time, and I'm very happy for that.
And this other quilt here, this is, it's a smaller quilt, so would this be for a baby, or?
This is devoted to my grandson. He is almost 2 years old, and this is the quilt where we learn all the details on that. Just card, teddy bear, whatever it is. So we're learning.
Okay, so I see they're embossed in the.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yvette, for telling us about your quilt and your story.
Thank you very much for inviting us to Canada.
And what about workshops? If somebody wanted to come to the festival and learn a little bit more about quilting, are there workshops available to work on techniques?
We have full-day workshops and half-day workshops, and this year we actually had a 1-hour lunchtime workshop, and all that information is on our website.
And what month is the annual festival held?
It's always held in May, and it always starts on the Victoria Day holiday.
And is it promoted through social media like Facebook, or is there flyers that go out? How do people know about it?
Yeah, we use Facebook, and we do have a lot of promotion material that goes to quilt shops, and we do trunk shows to various local guilds too.
And what can we look forward to next year at the festival? What country?
We're going to be featuring Canada next year, as it's the 150th birthday of Canada.
Well, thanks very much, Cynthia. This has been great information. And I'm just looking at your coat, your jacket here. It's absolutely beautiful. Is this one of the quilters from Latvia that made this?
Yes, she made this coat for her friend's 45th birthday. And she's very kindly allowed us to model it rather than hang it on the wall.
That is lovely. Well, thank you so much for inviting us to this wonderful festival and to share your journey to Canada. Thank you. Thank you, Nelson, for inviting us to Fort Rose Maple Company. It's a great location out near Park Hill. Just let us know what your background is. And I noticed by your last name, McLaughlin, it sounds very Scottish.
It is Scottish. Our ancestors actually came to East Williams Township, where we live here, back in 1836 and got the original farm off the Crown. So we're actually the 5th generation maple syrup operation.
When did was it your grandfather?
It would be a great-great-grandfather that originally came, yes.
So he came over and bought the land and started, why maple syrup?
Yeah. Well, in they actually, where they started making the syrup was on a different farm than this one. Okay. So when my grandfather and my father and uncles made maple syrup, they made it on a different farm. And then as kids, we got restarted making syrup again as sort of a kid hobby thing. And then we transitioned that hobby over the years into a business. So what do you do at Fort Rose Maple Company? Well, in our operation, we work out of 8 different wood lots. So we tap about 8,000 trees, and we truck all our sap home, and so that's why our sugar house is up at the front of the farm instead of back in the bush. And then to accompany the maple syrup operation, we started a pancake house business. So we started that about more than 25 years ago. Next year, we're actually going to do a celebration for our 25th, but we've been doing it a little bit longer than that. And when we originally started doing the pancakes, we used to do it in the rec room of the house. So we used to invite the neighbors in for pancakes, and then eventually it grew from there. And one year, we didn't tell Mom about it, and we sent out about 3,000 flyers and kind of flooded out the rec rooms. Oh, wow. It's crazy. Yeah. So you said 8,000 trees. Yeah. Now, how long does that take to tap every tree? Depending on the season, whether we have lots of snow or not, it usually takes us about 4 days, depending on the number of people. We'll usually run about a crew of 5 people in the bush tapping the trees. Okay. So our operation involves 3 generations working together. So I farm together with 2 brothers, and we run the maple syrup operation together, and along with my help of our parents and Lori's parents. And then our kids are all into it too, so, and nieces and nephews. So Nelson, now we're in the pancake house, and I'm looking around, and there are all these quilts. They're beautiful. So tell me a little bit about the history of the quilts. My mom, she's been an active quilter over her whole lifetime, so she's always been collecting scraps and materials and stuff, and got in. So and then as she's perfected her job of quilting, she's gone and made different quilts over the years. So this is one of her last quilts that she's done. So she calls it the maple quilt. Over the years, we've kind of gone away from the can business. A lot of people now like the recyclable, more plastic and stuff like that. So these kind of containers, they're sort of a container that everybody in Ontario can use. So it's actually, these ones are actually ones that support the Ontario Maple Syrup Producers Association. Okay, so there's 5 cents from each jug goes to the association when we purchase a container that helps do promotion of maple syrup and research and stuff like that. But over the years, as a new product or a new jug comes out, we try the different jugs because people always want to try something new. A big hit, obviously, is the maple leaf shaped container, because a lot of that is bought by people, and then when they're traveling, they'll take it home with them in the different destinations, or if they have company coming, they can give that to them, and it's a piece of Canadiana where they can keep that bottle after they've ate the maple syrup out of it. So our operation, we actually retail probably 75% of our syrup through here. So that's one of the key things with our pancake house business. So we've built that over 25 years to try and bring more people in to buy the maple syrup. And also, not only that, we do the ag tourism. So when people come, they're allowed to go to the barn. They can see the animals in the barn, and we don't hide anything. They can see how everything's done on our farm. Because when they come to our farm, they're coming to an active farm. So we have the maple syrup, we have field crops that we grow. We grow the corn, soybeans, and wheat. And then we do livestock. So we raise cattle all year round, plus the maple syrup operation. So our farm, we do 3 different things, and everything averages out in the end.
welcome. I'm here today with Mayor Kathy Burkhardt Jessen of Lucan Biddulph. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, it's great to be here.
Can you explain to us where Lucan Biddulph is located?
We are located in the northeast corner of Middlesex County, and we're about 15 minutes north, straight up Highway 4 from the Masonville area of the City of London.
What services does Lucan Biddulph have that would attract new residents as well as the old ones to your community?
Well, you know, Lucan Biddulph is really a welcoming community. We're a community that's built on immigrants. In fact, many of our residents today can trace their roots back to original settlers. So for immigrants coming to our community, they'd certainly be welcome. We have lots of family programming. We have a variety of jobs that are available. And we're close enough to London that they would be able to access cultural support if required.
Is there anything else you would like to share with the viewers about your community?
You know, we're a thriving community. We're growing, we're young, but yet we're a place where a retired couple would feel comfortable settling as well. We have a thriving downtown with lots of new shops, an industrial park that would be open to anybody looking to build or expand a business. This is my personal invitation to anybody who wants to come see us. Call me and I'll take you for a tour.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
I'm here at the Stuffed Zucchini in Lucan talking to Lot Worth, the owner of the Stuffed Zucchini. So hi, Lot. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pauline, for having me.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Laos, a small country that's surrounded by Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. Not a lot of people know where we're geographically located. I moved here when I was about 3, so we moved over because there was civil war there. And then yeah.
Great, and you started your business up in Lucan. And what kind of restaurant is it? What kind of cuisine do you serve?
Well, we serve authentic Thai food, but we also have Canadian food as well. So there's something for everyone.
Okay, great. So when you moved to Lucan, did you have any challenges when you moved, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, well, Lucan's such a small meat and potato sort of town. So when we first came in, people were a little iffy about our food because they weren't familiar with Thai food. They thought that it was all spicy, and we just kind of kept on telling people about it, and they embrace us now.
So you've won over the community.
We have.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So have you had any supports from the municipality? Like, did you have any supports from them going into this business and the community as a whole?
Yeah, everybody surrounding us were pretty supportive. They would spread the word. I mean, the best advertisement is by word of mouth, right? So they've always supported us by telling other people and coming in, trying our food.
So Lot, if somebody was looking at starting a business in Lucan, is there any advice that you can give them?
Yeah, I would say go for it, because we did it because we're we've always been from a small town, small community, and that's what we like, and it's growing. So
on your menu, what is the most popular dish, would you say?
Our most popular dish would be the pad thai.
Love pad thai.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Now, would you be able to show me how to make it?
Yes, of course.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here we are in the Stuffed Zucchini kitchen, where we are going to make pad thai, and we have a lot of ingredients on this plate, and I see you've got a frying pan on there. So what have you put in there already?
So far we just have garlic.
Okay.
And then
is that garlic and oil or just garlic?
Garlic and oil.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So we've got some red peppers, yellow, green, and some onions,
Yep.
and they're chopped pretty large.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not diced. That's
Nope.
great.
So we'll add our chicken along with our veggies.
Now, is that cooked chicken?
Yes, it's part cooked, just to
Part
kind of
cooked,
speed
yeah.
up the process.
Yeah.
Great. Get a good saute in there.
Yeah. Wonderful. And what kind of noodles do you use?
So this is rice noodles.
Rice noodles?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll add that.
We'll put that in. So everything is really kept nice and fresh, and
Yes.
it's kind of got a nice bite to it.
Yep.
All right.
And then we'll add a touch of egg for the creaminess.
Okay.
We'll add fresh chicken stock that we make every day.
Again, can you use like a vegetable stock?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
If you don't have any stock on hand, you can use water as well. Water works just as good. But we prefer chicken stock because it adds more flavor,
flavor,
right?
and you've got chicken in there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for a vegetarian dish, we would just use water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if somebody was vegan or vegetarian.
Right.
So we would cook that down.
Yeah.
Until the liquid has been reduced.
And the noodles, how long do they usually take?
Roughly about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And our pad thai sauce that we make in-house here.
Is it a secret recipe?
It is a secret recipe.
They're always secret recipes. They're always secret recipes. Oh, now it's all coming together.
Yeah. We add our bean sprout.
Okay. I'll get a plate out for you.
Sure, that would be great.
It's amazing how quickly it all comes together.
Yeah.
And so when people are sitting out and they're, you know, they've got a glass of wine or water or whatever, this is being cooked to order. It's wonderful.
Okay, I think we're ready to transfer over.
Great. So here we have, it's just going on the plate. Now, is there anything else that you put on this
Yes,
spot?
so we garnish it with fresh shredded carrot.
Oh, nice crunch at the end.
Yes.
Yes.
Fresh piece of lime.
Wonderful.
And cilantro.
Do people either love cilantro or they hate cilantro?
Yeah, it's one of those herbs.
I know. And can you use like parsley if you wanted to, if you didn't like cilantro?
I think cilantro is what makes it more authentic.
It's indicative to the,
yes.
So that looks absolutely delicious. It's so delicious. I think I need to taste a little bit. So we're just tasting a little bit of the bean sprouts and the noodles. Now these get
you can sprinkle it on. Yeah, it's optional.
You can taste the freshness, the crunch. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for showing me how to do this.
You are very welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I'm here with Jackie Martins at the Donnelly Museum on Main Street in Lucan. Welcome to the show, Jackie.
Thank you for inviting me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at the museum here.
I started with the museum kind of at arm's length in 1995. My dad was one of the founders of the museum, and we have quite a history in this area. My great-great-great-grandfather was an agent for the Canada Company to bring people over from Ireland to settle in this area. And now I'm one of the volunteers. You volunteer in the museum to keep it running and things like that.
Great. Now, how long has it been at this site? And it was on other sites, wasn't it?
Started in 1995 across the road, actually, for a little while, and then we purchased a lot just around the corner, and it was in a little tiny garage, and then we decided that maybe it was time to portray our history in a better venue, and so in 2008 we started building this museum, and it opened to the public in 2009.
Jackie, along with the Donnelly heritage, what other stories are told out of this museum?
One of the main stories besides the Donnellys is Wilberforce, and Wilberforce was a black community. They settled here in 1829, and there's a lot of interest lately in black history, and so we've had a lot of people coming here trying to research their roots. And we still have people living in the community that are direct descendants of Peter Butler I, who was one of the original settlers in 1829 in that community.
So if somebody was trying to look for this Donnelly Museum in Lucan, whereabouts, what's the address? Whereabouts is it?
171 Main Street is where we're located, and we have a website. A lot of people find information on the website or Facebook. And
how much is the cost to get in?
It's $5 a person to enter the museum, and it's $15 for a family.
And what's the hours?
We're open from 11 till 4, Tuesday to Sunday and holiday Mondays, from the second Saturday in May until the end of September.
Okay, well thanks very much, Jackie. That was great.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. So Jan, thank you so much for joining us on We Are Middlesex show.
No, you're welcome.
It's great.
Glad
Now,
to be here.
yeah, thank you. Now, you are a local artist here in Lucan.
Yes.
And you have a fantastic studio with all this artwork. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, when you came to Canada, and what your profession was before and when you came.
Well, I came here in January 1961. I came as a house painter. I had learned that in the Netherlands. And I came to Canada and I did my profession here for about 10 years. And then I made a drastic switch by getting rid of my people and started my fine art.
Now, had you always been an artist back in the Netherlands? Had you always wanted to sort of put painting like canvas and doing some sculptures? What was that shift?
Well, I was always on stage because I sang a lot. I was in a choir boy as a soprano, and so I was used to being around people and on stage. So maybe that did play a role in making my switch, but I really did not know how to paint when I made that switch. I didn't even know how to make a straight line, to be truthful.
So what were some of your earlier paintings? What did you create?
They were just, if I look at them today, they're a disaster. But to some people it was very fascinating, because I would do these paintings right on the street, and I would get dressed up with white sleeves, and because it's like being on stage, and then I would paint. And I remember one fellow sitting on the sidewalk and then just watching me paint, and then I just wondered what he was up to. And then when he said, asked me, "Are you finished?" I said, "Well, not quite yet." And then when I finished, he bought it, and I just was in heaven. I got $150, and it was really
And that
amazing.
was the start of
That
a
was the
long
start of
journey.
it. That's
oh,
right.
Great.
That's right.
Now, what do you draw your inspiration from?
The inspiration is every day different. It's just once I have an empty canvas in front of on the easel, the inspiration comes automatically. It is just I start with colors, and I start with the sky, water. If I were to do scenery, when I do an impressionist or when I do very contemporary work, it works a little different. So it's I see in the beginning what I did was a lot of meditation. I studied 2 years Buddhism just to learn to meditate and to be very calm, and that actually gave me more inspiration than I could ever learn in a school.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Good.
And it'd be great to have a look at your pieces and have some looking at the sculptures. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wow, that was so cool. Who knew there was so much to experience in North Middlesex and Lucan Biddulph? I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out all these awesome places the next time you venture over to North Middlesex and Lucan Biddulph. I'm Logan. It was a pleasure being your guide today.